going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning. Shout out to my guy, Pop Stoner, Lyle, Nades, Go Collect, No Stop, Coach. Nades again, and my man Gyiraszin below. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. 8:01 over here in Mountain Time. Gyiraszin, 11:01. Still the morning everywhere we're talking. At least most people are probably watching here. 10 games on tap on DraftKings. FanDuel, I mean, they usually do this. I don't know why they do this. It's a little frustrating, but split up very early only and early only. So we have 5 games for very early only. They are including the Texas-Cincy game, which locks at 12:40 Eastern. DraftKings is not. So if you are on FanDuel, make sure you do get that Reds-Texas game in. It's definitely interesting on the red side for bats. Hunter Green, I think, is a little interesting. Still better pitchers like Skeens on that slate than early onlys at 307. But we'll be focused on this 10-game DraftKings slate. Throw it to Gyiraszin. How are we doing? Fine. Barry Sanders staring at you in the background.
Man, it's a good morning. We get some daytime baseball, first time, other than opening day, and pretty much got an opening day type slate of pitchers. So I thought it was interesting. Got some decent bats that I like. I think it's a pretty good slate. Kind of remind me a little bit of yesterday to where we, had all kinds of options that we could look at. But today we got a little heavier side on some pitching, which makes it a little bit more interesting. But man, I don't know about pre-show you're telling me, Title, no, just so y'all know, my man Title's grinding it out, playing some poker last night till like 3 o'clock, and now here he is. It's like 8 in the morning over there in Arizona. But hey, he's in Arizona and I'm in Michigan, and it's like raining and snowing and thunderstorming and shit here. So I don't feel so bad for you. Title's got the life over there, let me tell you. But yeah, so hey, having some fun already with baseball. It's just good to get back in the groove, Title. I mean, I love baseball. Baseball's a lot of fun. But man, I don't know what the hell FanDuel's doing, man. They butchered the shit out of the slate here today. Like, how hard is it, man? Just group it up. I mean, it's just kind of, it's like, if you got a majority of the games in the day, why don't you just do what DraftKings did? It's not that difficult. But yeah, FanDuel did screw it up. But man, FanDuel is my favorite spot for baseball. I like the platform over there for baseball. Pretty much play everything else over there on DK. I do mix it up in there on DK a little bit. I'm probably going to play more DK today because obviously, the slate being at 1 o'clock. But yeah, looking forward to diving into it, seeing what we have here. But some pretty good matchups all the way around, both sides, bats and on the mound today.
For sure. If you want to win more than like $200, Gyiraszin, I would recommend heading over to DraftKings instead of FanDuel for this slate. Yeah, coffee time's right. Definitely got my coffee. Shout out to my wife.
Coffee time. It's safety meeting time, boys.
That's after. That's later. It's only 8 here. Coach Sam, talking about the wife. How do we like it out there? Absolutely love it. No better place in Arizona. I hate the cold, though. Give me the heat any day of the week. Give me the sunshine.
Wait a minute. I just need to know, Title, when you're a Midwestern boy, so I know, you've been out there now, what, 2 years now? But what is it like when it's like fucking scorching ass hot and you can't even breathe? Like, is it worse being cold or is it worse being hot?
Worse being cold for sure. I'm in the sauna still every day, like 185. So I lay out at least, and then we'll get to the slate. I lay out for at least 30 minutes, even if it's 112 degrees outside. I'm like right by my pool. I'm laying out there, and I absolutely love it. So I only say you can complain about one. So you did the cold. It's the heat. I will always complain about the cold. I'll never complain about the heat. But those like 2 months in the heat of summer, it's not great. That's when I usually do my travel. We travel and stuff. It's just baseball season, so it's lighter time too, not NFL, NBA, etc. Amen, though. Very blessed over here. Living the dream. But Max in here, wanted to say hi. Robert's in here. What's going on? Myri, what's going on? Warren, Sean, Cody Berry. We're talking some baseball. A couple things that you said. The first thing, so this is opening day was last Thursday. So we're 6 days into the MLB season. Usually these teams would have one break. So a lot of these opening day starters, the Paul Skeens, Hunter Green's not on the slate, but he's making his second start. Tariq Skubal, Freddie Peralta, Cole Reagan, Sonny Gray, Mackenzie Gore. So many of these are making their second starts. Not that one start's a big enough sample to take too much away, but I do like seeing the pitch count. Who is fully stretched? Skeens throwing 94, Sonny Gray not throwing as much. little things I look at. Obviously, some people had easier matchups, harder matchups. The other thing I want to mention before we get into pitching, what I always do in the MLB slate, I pull up weather. There is weather to worry about on this slate. So Roth has the Angels in St. Louis, so this game right here, as orange, straight orange. That's concerning for me. He said, I don't know about this one. It looks like heavy rain from the late morning through most of the afternoon. This could require a lengthy late start or a postponement. Great hitting weather if they do play. So this game, circled. I'm a little concerned. It sounds like bats maybe, and it's a good game environment, so I'll keep an eye on it. Pitchers I'm worried about. Second game that has some concern right next to it, Minnesota, the White Sox. Orange-yellow, he has it. The worst of the rain clears in the early afternoon, maybe sometime around first pitch. Could cause a late start. Beyond that, spotty showers. It's not likely. Late start combined with showers. So that one, how I read it, and orange-yellow being better than just orange, I'm not going to worry too much about this right now. But again, he does make updates. Weather changes. The last thing you want is to have zeros in your lineup because of a weather game. So Angels, St. Louis, a concern for me right now. Minnesota White Sox, not as much, but something I will be looking at. Gyiraszin, if there's nothing else you want to add, again, big boy slate, 10 games, pitching, absolutely loaded. I'm going to sort by 10K and above. I don't know why I can't get rid of these that are projecting for 0. There has to be a way. If someone knows, let me know. I filtered it. Oh, hide. There we go. Look at that. Easy game. So what I did right there, I went to filters, show players with my projection greater than. I just put 4. I don't want to play a pitcher projected less than 4. And I put the pitcher. Then you hide, remove players right there. So look at that, Gyiraszin.
Yeah, learn something new every day.
There you go. These are all the guys I will be looking at today, but I want to start 8.5K and above. Paul Skeens up top. I mean, 2 of the best pitchers in the MLB, arguably, Skeens, Skubal up top. And I still think pitching is too cheap. I think DraftKings has not expanded their ceiling price enough. Skeens should be 11K, 11.7 in some matchups, etc. So how I look at it, I do want to jam in a lot of these studs. Skeens definitely, as you can see, projects the best. Take it from there. Skubal, Cease looks good. Freddie had a solid outing, got beat up a little bit, but the Ks were there. 8.5K Pablo to up to Paul Skeens at 10.3.
Yeah, I think pitching is definitely way different than we saw yesterday. We only had 4 or 5 dudes that were over the major league average 22% strikeout rate. I mean, I think there's over a dozen dudes that are over 25% here today. So we got all kinds of options. Definitely, for me, you got to nail pitching today, Title. If you can't have a mediocre start here today and think you're going to do well. You're going to have 2 of the best pitchers. And hey, if you can make a lineup and jam in Skubal and Skeens, which I actually did, I thought I liked it. So, I mean, as you mentioned, I think they're a little light on pitching today with them both being 10.3 and 10K respectively. So, I mean, for me, it's pretty easy. I mean, you can jam in them 2. You can make a pretty decent lineup with some Mets, that you like, even jam in Soto and Lindor. So, I mean, it's very doable. So, I mean, to me, that's just the way to go at this point. That's for the safest, the highest upside. I mean, you got 2 guys sitting there with 30% plus strikeout rate, 33% last year for Skeens, 30% for Skubal. I mean, you're pretty much going to lock in almost probably the 2 favorites almost for the Cy Young on your team today. I mean, you can't even argue that. But, I mean, if you want to drop down a little bit, as we were talking about with Lopez, I mean, Lopez gets a pretty decent matchup here against the White Sox. I mean, we're going to be chasing the White Sox as they go along here. So don't mind Lopez at all today. I think he's definitely a pivot. Peralta, I mean, on a normal slate, we'd be probably looking at Peralta as a decent arm here today. I just think there's too many options for me to get to Peralta. Castillo, I think, is interesting. I mean, he probably isn't an argument maybe for some cash game considerations if you want, I would say. I mean, him and Skubal and Skeens, I mean, I think all of the 3 are definitely there. I mean, 9K against a Detroit team. Castillo struggled a little bit last one, but I still think Castillo is in play. I mean, but we got a lot of loaded pitchers. I think Cease is also in a decent spot. I just don't generally like attacking the Indians for strikeouts. But Skeen Screwball easily up at the top for me. And then I think there's a pretty significant gap. And then I put guys like Cease, Castillo, Lopez, maybe, in that next kind of tier bucket. But hey, I mean, we got A+ pitchers up at the top, and we got A pitchers in like the second bucket title. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, but like I said, you're going to have to nail the pitchers here today. I mean, if Screwball and Skeens both go off, you're going to have them both. I mean, there's going to be no doubt here today. So, man, a lot of big names up at the top, but I'm going school. I mean, Seattle's been striking out a ton too. So, I mean, I kind of went back and forth. Who did I really, like between Skeens and Screwball? I'm just going to go Skeens. Screwball, how can you argue with him? He faced the Dodger team his first time out. But, man, I think it's loaded. I think there's even some guys down below that you could take and load up if you want to get some bigger bats. But, man, I think overall it's a pretty cool slate. But I think pitching is something you're going to have to be really careful with today.
100%. Yeah, when we get to these, I mean, Mackenzie Gore is a name people will see down here. Pepio's fine, but Mackenzie, obviously, I think 36 on his opening day start. Still couldn't even get the win. I think the inning he came out, they gave up a bomb. You called it. Schwarber, I think Harper might have got the first. But there's options down below for sure. There's also plenty. When you plug in Skeens and Screwball, I mean, baseball is a very easy stack. Or a very easy sport in terms of roster construction. You're just always stacking. Like, we're going to get to a team like the A's that are standing out to me. Plenty of teams throughout, though, where you can easily play a 5-man stack. Some of them might not have a batter priced above 4.4K. Or you add in a favorite 5-man stack and you're left with 2,400. Well, 2 of your positions you can pretty much fully punt, and you can still win that way if they get 0. So you easily can get Skeen Screwball. It's definitely my favorite pairing. 2 of the best pitchers in the MLB. If they're getting you over 30, it's going to be hard to play catch up from there. I think after that, my favorite approach would be to go Peralta. And I know we haven't talked about Reagan's at 8-1, but I like a pitcher's duel in here. I just like the upside that both pitchers present. They can outscore Skeen straight up. A lot of these pitchers can, which is the nice thing on this slate. You can have a lot big, even these guys in the 7K on their good games, like we saw Gore, he can outscore Skeens. Freddie and Reagan's, both very solid K props. 6.5 for Reagan's, minus 125 on the over. Freddie 5.5, minus 165 on the over. And that's really good on this slate. Like a Pablo Lopez, if we're talking 6.5 plus 105 on the over. So Reagan's is better for cheaper. Pepio, when we get there, he has a better K prop. So full $1,300 cheaper. Pepio has a better K prop. Obviously, a lot better matchup with Pittsburgh. Well, I guess I shouldn't say a lot better matchup, unless it's White Sox for the day, White Sox putting up a bunch of runs. But obviously, this is a little weather concern game. If I had to do it, Skeen Screwball by far my favorites. Can easily pair them. After that, I would drop down to Freddie Peralta. He'd be my second favorite in this range. Bottom, I'll let you talk about 8K or 8.3K and below. Again, I mentioned Reagan's. I think he's strong. Are we going back to the Mackenzie Gore game? I was very tilted with myself. I mentioned Mackenzie Gore, decent amount. I said he's like Hunter Green. You play him in some lineups, you pick against him in some lineups. He does have that K upside. Another solid K prop at 5.5. Kikuchi let everyone down. I mean, he rebounded a little bit. He scored, I think, like 13 on opening day. Not enough as chalk. Now people aren't playing him. So do you have interest there? I think Pepio is strong, like I mentioned. Good matchup at Pittsburgh. Good K prop. I think it's Reagan's Pepio down below. I did. Let me, they must have Springs. Yep. Springs is a relief pitcher. Any thoughts on Jeffrey Springs and Clay Holmes as well? Clay was getting some hype opening day. Definitely did not go well. Jeffrey Springs 7.5, a pitcher I respect. I'm just not sure we need to go all the way down there in a slate. I love pitching. What do you see 8.3K and below?
Yeah, I mean, that's, when you get down here with some of these arms, you think, oh, yeah, Gore, 13K, 6 innings last time. What an outing. Man, can you repeat that? That's going to be kind of tough here against those Blue Jays. But, you mentioned Reagan's. He gets Milwaukee. I mean, he didn't come out and really, do too much. His first, he struck out 3 batters. I think he had 3 Ks in his 5 innings of work. So, I mean, it wasn't something, all that great. I'm not really too concerned about him, but his price at 8,100 is what I really am looking at. I mean, this guy should be probably a 10K arm, actually. But I think Reagan's is interesting, but man, I just keep thinking to myself, I got to beat Skubal and Skeens. It's like, holy, I mean, that's pretty tall task, man. Like, I mean, I think you got to have
At
one of
least
the
get
two.
close.
What's that?
I said you at least got to get close. Like if you're playing a 7K guy, Pepio, Skeens gets you 24, Pepio gets you 19. I would take it. Maybe enough. But again, there's enough cheap bats and a huge slate. Maybe not. Maybe it is the raw points there. So you're going to say you plan on making the rule at least one of Skeens and Skubal in every lineup?
I would.
Okay. So keep
I mean,
talking.
I would if I'm playing multiple teams. I'm only going to probably play 3 teams like I generally do. But, for me, it's just like you said, there's a pretty big slate. You got to kind of look at the landscape of the slate. Like I always say, there's too many landmines here today that can kill you at pitching. So you got to nail pitching. So but man, you can get some pretty good leverage if you don't have Skubal or Skeens in your lineup, and you do nail it with like a Gore or a Pepio, and they keep it close within them too. You're obviously going to have that huge advantage of the salary. But I'm just really concerned about how easy it was to build a lineup with Skeens and Skubal. Like generally as the season goes on, there's no way in hell we're going to be able to build something that we even are close to liking. So to me, that's why I was like, man, it's just too tough here today. But I mean, down in that range, you got some options. I mean, Sonny Gray, I was going against him. I was concerned he was hurt, as there was talk he was sick and wasn't feeling well, and his velocity was down all through, and guy comes out and twists up pretty good game. I mean, of course, because I stacked against him. But, looking at that, Gore had the great one. Springs, I think there's options. Pepio down here against Tampa or Pittsburgh I like too. So, I mean, I wouldn't I see some Holmes love there. I don't know. That Miami lineup is actually absolutely puke. I think Holmes is more of a reach for me kind of today. I think some of these guys down here are kind of a reach, as you mentioned. It's just too risky for me. I think it's like a 3 or 4, 5-1 underdog for me for you to beat, to come in close to what, we got sitting up top. So I'm kind of concerned with some of these guys down here. I mean, I do like some of the matchups, but man, when you're just looking up top, what's staring at you, I think it's intimidating. So I'm going to roll with Skeens and Skubal. Maybe if I had to mix in one of these guys, I think I would probably look at Gore and Pepio, or my two that I would mix in with Skeens or Skubal. Those would be my two favorites. But other than that, yeah, I think pitching today, I mean, you're going to have to be spot on.
I agree. So if I was playing, I definitely don't want to uncheck all of them. What is going on? There we go. So if I had to, I don't want to uncheck everyone that way. Maybe this will be the easiest way. If I was going a pitcher, I don't even love Cease. Maybe he'd be in the pool. If I was playing 10 teams or less, I probably would keep Cease in there. I would uncheck Castillo. I don't want this is all there. I guess that's the easiest way. I do like Freddie a bit. I don't love Pablo Lopez. Don't love Framber. Don't love Sonny. Gore has the K upside, so I'd keep him in, but I'd cap him. You can see the ownership there. I don't love Springs. Kikuchi at 2%. His K prop solid. 5.5, some juice on the over. I am worried about the weather in that game. Or should I say Roth is, so I am. So I don't love him. I like Pepio a lot. I think he's the clear play in the bottom range. Projections will show that. No thanks on Clay Holmes. Route. I don't need any of these guys. Sean Burke. So right here, if you make the rule, at least one of these two, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other pitchers in your pool. If you had to cross off 2 of them, who would it be? You said McKenzie, Gore, and Cease?
I probably would cross off Reagan's.
Oh, I love Reagan's. I can't do that. Other than that.
I would cross off Reagan's and probably
The thing is, you don't even have
I like them all, actually. Reagan's actually is the one I just need to see it a little bit more, but his price at 8,100 is really good. But like I said, I think if I didn't have some of the strikeout potential that we have on this slate, I'm a little concerned. I'm just a little concerned.
Fair enough. Reagan's K prop's real good at 6.5, and this Brewers team does not scare me one bit. What a 0-4 before they finally got their win. What I'm saying, though, is if you're building like 10 teams or less, or you're on, great time to pull up our best deal. The core package, as you can see, you can build 150 teams on SaberSim. Actually, you can build 250 and see 150. Or even if you're on the starter package and you're able to build 500, I will say if you're not a member, I would check out the core package. Best time to join with MLB opening day last Thursday. MLB 50 gets you $50 off your first month. Does include the SaberSim package as well as all of our content for the sports. I would narrow my player pool a little more if you know you're playing less lineups. You're able to build less lineups. And I think this would be a pretty solid pitching pool if I was playing like 10 teams or less. And then I would made the rule, at least one of Skeen, Skubal, and then I'd just run the builds. And I'd be like, okay, it's not giving me any Mackenzie Gore. Maybe I don't like Gore, and you don't need to play him. Oh, it's giving me 70% Reagans, and it's mixing Skubal Skeens. I don't want 70% Reagans. Then the next step, you go to max exposure. You can max them out here and just keep running it that way. But I think this is solid for a pitching pool of 10 or less, and then you're not even guaranteed to get all them. Then I'd maybe let SaberSim do its work. I'd definitely go check out MLB, the slate plan, see what our man Gyirazin's thinking, even though we'll hear his thoughts. The stack rankings, hitter rankings, pitcher rankings. We will be sharing the stone. That is all I got for pitcher. So when we're talking bats, I'm going to share the stone right now. I love how everything is just in one spot on the stone. Give me a second. We got a host, got to do this, got to do that. Not as fast as our man Tambo. All right, what I love about the stone, we're going to go game by game, 10 games, is everything's on here. You get the pricing on DraftKings, on FanDuel. You get when the projected lineup, as you can see, it says projected. When it's confirmed, you get the confirmed lineup, their position eligibility, the hand that they bat on, and you can see the pitcher or what arm the pitcher throws, so you can see if they have the platoon advantage or not. The sample size that you're getting all the xWOBA, ISO, all the nerd stats. Then you also get ownership projections on both sites. And I love over here, the hitter rankings. So we're going to go with the first two games, Gyiraszin. I'm going to group 2 as we go down on the stone. These first two games, the Pirates and the Rays and the Royals and the Brewers, two of the lower total on the slates. I mean, I'll let you talk about the totals. You mentioned it pre-show. Very few at 8.5, 8, a lot in the low. Like in the 7 range. The reason for that, good pitchers on the mound early in the year, so weather isn't great. Hey, but we can talk about the torpedo bats if you want, or the juice balls back, whatever you want to say there. But these 4 teams to start, Pirates, Rays, Royals, Brewers, my initial thoughts when looking at the stone and the implied run totals, they're all going to be low owned. I don't have interest in really much. Again, I liked Cole Reagans. I liked a little bit of Freddie. I like Pepio. I like Skeens. This is not where I'm going. I do not think it's a slate. We need direct leverage off of chalky Skeens. If I had to go anywhere, stack ranking or hitter rankings are telling me 2 through 4, right, for the Royals are pretty interesting. That's how I'd attack it. Bobby Witt would be my favorite. Just always has that 25-point upside, even without a home run because of his legs. So Pirates, Rays, Royals, Brewers, any of these stand out in terms of stacks?
No, I mean, nothing I'd be stacking at. I mean, as you mentioned, we got a couple 7 games here. 7 in that Pittsburgh-Tampa, 7.5 that KC-Milwaukee game. Yeah, I'm not looking. I mean, Bobby Witt is like pretty much about the only guy that, you might want to consider even playing. He's the only one that's even up in any even kind of optimizers. But, I mean, he's Bobby Witt. So, I mean, he's always going to be up there. But, yeah, no thank you. I'm not interested in attacking any. I mean, if you think Reagans is broken a little bit, he hasn't been doing too well, struggled in spring. I mean, you can go after some Brewers if that's your thinking. But I wouldn't argue with you. But it's still Cole Reagans. I'm not interested in that. So we got plenty of options here on a 10-game slate title. There's all kinds of spots here today I think are interesting, even with some good pitching that we have. So, flipping here to some bats. It is some interesting plays here today, but yeah, not in these first 2 games as you mentioned here.
100% agree with you. I mean, that's what I like to do in baseball too. You just cross off teams or have them as your one-off. Allow them in your 5-2-1 stacks, but I don't want a 3-man stack of any of them. I'd be fine with a one-off that's low owned. I don't want any more of that. So let's get to 2, looks like better games for sure. And I mentioned the weather. So these are the 2 weather concern games. Angels, St. Louis, this one's just orange, so it's the biggest concern. But what Roth did say is if it plays, It's good hitting weather, and we don't have interest in these pitchers anyway. At least I didn't really. So Cardinals, you can see pretty good implied team total going over to the Twins White Sox. This was the other game with some weather concerns, but it was orange-yellow. So I'm expecting this game to play. The White Sox are a team we will be picking on, just like last year, with pitchers, with stacks, with everything. Two pretty good totals, Cardinals and the Twins. Do you have interest in either of these two? Then any interest in a pretty low-owned Angels or White Sox stack?
No, I'm not interested in Angels nor a White Sox stack. I'm not in that game, as you mentioned, little weather concern. That Twins White Sox game, though, I mean, man, I wouldn't mind going with some Twins here against Burke. Especially some of the lefties. I like Wallner. I like up at the top of that lineup. I think Byron Buxton's a pretty good play, but as you mentioned, just not very good hitting weather. I do, maybe some one-offs. Maybe you could look at that maybe as a mini stacks, a Buxton and a Wallner, maybe if you wanted to look at something like that. But yeah, I'm not interested. Maybe Mike Trout. I mean, he rates out pretty well here today. Baker for the Cardinals isn't too bad. He's got pretty decent numbers, but Kikuchi, I mean, it's just hard. I don't like attacking Kikuchi as we've probably experienced in the past. Luke and Baker, though, I mean, he's got a decent fly ball rate. We know that Kikuchi 42% ground ball rate. Bacon's got a 31% fly ball rate. So I do kind of like him a little bit more than anybody else over there with the Cardinals. But for me, I do like some of the Twins, though. Maybe more of a mini stack, and especially some of the lefties.
I like some of these Cardinals. Kikuchi, just when he blows up, he can fully blow up. If it's going to be some solid hitting weather, humid in St. Louis, we know Cardinals Park can play pretty small when it is humid and rainy a little bit, or not rainy. Well, it is going to rain, so it gets humid after. The balls can fly a little bit. The hitter rankings don't love it. It likes Jordan Walker, massive pop. I would definitely focus on the righties, like you mentioned, Baker. Problem is I don't love Arenado at this point of his career. Herrera I'd be fine with. What I do love about this Cardinals team is look at it. No one's priced above 4.4K. It's so easy. If you want to go Skeen, Skubal, and 5-man Cardinals, even Skeen, Skubal, and 3 Cardinals is very easy to do, and then you can stack a higher priced team. I definitely would be looking at some of these Cardinals righties. Probably more as a mini, but, I mean, Kikuchi really can blow up. So I like Cards. Angels I don't love. Sonny Gray. His pitch count isn't extended. I think he threw like 75, but he was good in those 75 pitches. I'm not going to be looking to pick on Sonny Gray right now. Don't love this Angels team, especially the bottom half. I ain't playing the White Sox on a 10-game slate. And you like some of the Twins, and the hitter rankings like some of the Twins too. So, yeah, 1 through 4 looks pretty interesting. Against a bad White Sox team, bad White Sox bullpen, and probably one of the worst starters on the slate in Sean Burke. All right. Next 2 games we're looking at. Again, appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button, subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Can you sort your optimized lineups by ownership or projection once you have your lineups? If so, can you share it? Yes, we can, Kenny. I'm going to do these 2 games, throw it to Gyiraszin, and then I will pull up SaberSim, and I'll show you how to do that. Nationals, Blue Jays, Nats. I think Nats are a little interesting. I'll let you talk about it. CJ Abrams, I'm not going to say a Dollar Tree Bobby Witt, because that's disrespectful to CJ Abrams. But, man, the dude's such a good shortstop, can fill it up in every single category. I like playing CJ a lot. I like James Wood a little bit, too. Pretty expensive there, though, and it is lefty-lefty. Blue Jays, Mackenzie Gore's been pretty good. I'm not too interested. Number 7 in the hitter rankings is Vlad, though. Looks like a pretty interesting one-off. Cubs, A's, this is the spot. I like these A's, man, against Tyon. Tyon's is not a pitcher. When a lot of opening day starters are pitching, Jameson Tyon's a guy that I do want to attack. Daytime A's, as people like to say. So I'm worried maybe this ownership creeps up a little bit. I still don't think enough to do anything on this slate. Man, the Cubs have been hitting the ball too. I respect Jeffrey Springs, but these Cubs aren't getting that much ownership. They're definitely smashing the baseball. The problem is, like the Kyle Tuckers of the world, Springs is a lefty. You do get a lot of other righties in the lineup, but I don't want to play Tucker lefty unless I'm 5-man stacking. I like the A's a lot, though. One of my favorite stacks on the slates. What about these 4 teams? Nats, Jays, Cubs, A's.
Yeah, I really like the Nats here today against Lucas. I think you can start up Dylan Cruz up there at the top of that lineup. I like him. Josh Bell. You can even go DeJong down there at short's got some home run pops. So definitely like some of them Nats there today. I mean, really the Blue Jays are struggling. I mean, they're going to have a bullpen game. They lost Max. So, I mean, obviously starting a guy, this kid isn't going to go very long. They're going to be diving into that bullpen. So that bullpen doesn't really scare me at all with the Blue Jays. So I think the Nats are definitely in a pretty good spot here. Definitely interesting. Get them fairly cheap too. So definitely like that a little bit. As far as the Toronto side goes, against Gore, I'm just gonna pass, leave that alone. I think Gore obviously came out last game, threw twisted up a gem on opening day. So I'm gonna leave the Blue Jays alone. I think there's a lot of other spots here, but I mean we do have a high total, 8.5. It's the high. I think there was 4 or 5 games with 8.5. So this was one of them. But yeah, definitely interested in some of them Nats bats here against that bullpen. And then we got that Cubs and A's game, as you mentioned. I really like the lefties. Tyon, we talked a lot about it last year too. They'll go after Tyon with lefties. So as you mentioned, daytime, we got a noon 12:30 game out there in Sacramento. I mean, the stadium's been playing to the over. It's been over the first 2 games. So I mean, we're sitting there. I think in minors it yield like 9.3 runs, which is actually like low. I looked it up for that division that they were in. They play in a lot of high altitude stadiums. So out there in that Pacific Coast League out there in the minors. But yeah, I mean, I've been keeping my eye on these stadiums. I mean, there's just a few of the big changes in baseball as the season goes on, and you kind of want to be in front of it in DFS. I mean, we got a new stadium, obviously with Tampa playing down there in Florida in basically the confines of Yankee Stadium. It's the same damn stadium basically down there in Tampa. So we got a little bit warmer weather for them down there. It took my brain a minute yesterday to even remember that with Tampa title. So, it's like you get so used to something and it's like, oh, wait a minute. And I even drove by that dump of a stadium in Tampa off the side of the freeway, and it looks weird with the roof, just the frame sitting there. I mean, it's just like, come on, man, put a roof over that thing. Let's go. But either way, sitting over there. But man, the A's are really interesting. I think the A's are going to be up at the top of the stack list here today, sitting there. Like I mentioned, another game sitting at 8.5. Man, give me some of the Butler up at the top. Rooker, Baudet, Langoliers. I think this lineup definitely can get it done here. You got all kinds. The top 5 of that lineup all have fly ball percentages, basically 29% or north. So definitely like the top of that lineup today for some home runs. So give me some A's. I think they are going to be a little bit popular today. I think they're catching some steam. But yeah, I like me some A's here today. All about it.
Yeah, and again, like Nate's like A's. What do you say? A's won't be owned. I think they'll be. It's a 10-game slate, and like ownership in MLB, like people when they play golf and then they play NBA, and like golfers chalk at 18%. NBA, you see people at 60%. Baseball is like golf, and it's even to a lesser degree like chalk. If A's got steam, that's like a 6% stack ownership. So if you like the A's, play the A's. They're not going to get much ownership by any means. It's a 10-game slate. So what I did want to, I told Kenny that I would show him. So what I did when Gyiraszin was talking, all I did was I ran 20 lineups with the optimizer setting. So this is just to get like the 20 best teams to sort. If you want to do like the 5,000 with the sims that we have or your normal stuff, you can do the same thing here. So I did it easier. So 20 teams you can see, and right here is where you sort. So you can see right here, like this is for a large slate like it is now, 10 games, 10,000 to 50,000 in your pool. If it's a smaller slate, and again, a lot of the SaberSim changes to what setting they think it should be, large slate versus small slate. You're only playing 100 to 1,000 people in it, etc. You asked how to sort by projected score right here. So when I go projected score, you will see, and you can sort it by this too. So this shows the lineups, and this tab shows just everything in one with names. So I sort by projected score. You can see now it is all sorted by projected score. Of course, you can see stack exposure over here. If if you want to force certain stacks. And then ownership, instead of projected score, just sort by ownership, and you can see that way as well. So hopefully that helped. Yeah, that's all I got there. Let's go right back to the Stone and get on with the next two games.
Next two games. You talking about for AFC Raiders and Titans? He's over there singing his own songs. I can,
All right, let's get to the next two games. Giants, Astros, Guardians, Padres. You see right here, again, it's kind of like the last two. I mean, Framber, definitely a pitcher I respect. I do not need to be playing these Giants. If they beat me, I am totally fine with that. Padres, again, I think Cease is a good pitcher. I liked others like Peralta, Reagans, if choosing to Cease today. But, I mean, number 9 in our pitcher rankings is pretty solid. Ben Lively, on the other hand, I don't think he's great. Look at that. Tatis, number 3 on the list. Power, speed, upside. Jackson Merrill. Oh, what a beast. Cronenworth. Machado, I'm fine with. I think the Padres are real interesting on a slate like this. What I like about them as well, the last 3 guys. Like, do I love Jason Hayward? No, I don't love Jason Hayward. All of them are below 3K, though. 2 of them are in the outfield. A lot of coveted positions. Like, if you're going Merrill, Tatis, I probably wouldn't finish my lineups with one of these 2. But it allows the stack. If you want to pay for the big bats, Tatis, Machado, Merrill, you can easily still 5-man stack it with other cheaper pieces there. Astros, I don't know. I'll let you talk about the Astros. Jordan Alvarez definitely popping off the page for us. What are you doing with these 4 games? Or 2 games, 4 teams?
Yeah, I think starting out the gate there with the Indians Padres, I mean, we're sitting at 7.5 total. I don't like any of the Indians bats here against Cease, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. But Lively is definitely somebody I don't mind to take, especially from the left side. I got Jackson Merrill as one of the better plays here today overall. I do like Tatis. I like all them lefties there. I think that's interesting. It's just, I as just a rule of thumb at this point, really respect that Indians bullpen, and it's just hard for me to be full stacking. But I do like the spot here today for these lefties against Lively. It's just, I mean, what are they going to see him twice, maybe tops? So, it's just concerning what's behind the door there with Lively. So, but I do like Merrill. I think Merrill is a great play. But other than that, I mean, maybe more of a little mini stack. I don't know if I want to full stack them just because it is that Indians bullpen that I like to pay attention to bullpens. Maybe some others do or don't a little bit more. I mean, but in this day of baseball, I think, it's very rare you see a pitcher even see a lineup 3 times anymore. So, you're really talking about 2 at-bats, and then you get a bullpen for the other 2, which is generally, obviously half or 2/3 of a game. So I like to pay attention to these bullpens as they go. It's something I like to look at to see how bullpens are trending. And so, I mean, we're still in the first week, so my brain is still working off last season. But Indians definitely have one of the better bullpens. So that is a little concerning. But you do talk about the San Francisco-Houston game. That game has got an 8 total. We got Landon Roop on the mound, a righty there. Looks like he had a ground ball lean. But Jordan Alvarez, 38% fly ball rate. Walker's got a high fly ball rate. Jordan is one of the better bats on the slate overall. I do like the Astros. I think the Astros are in play as a stack that you could use here today. So, but yeah, Jordan obviously is always going to be in play. But today I think is a decent day. I could even see him hitting a bomb here today. So definitely like me some Jordan. But yeah, interested in some Astro stacks. I wouldn't say they're top of my list, but on a 10-game slate, definitely in play today.
Yeah, I like them more as mini stacks. Like the Jordan, Christian Walker right here. Yonder Diaz. Like I'll tail the hitter rankings right here. I do like the Padres a good bit, though. I mean, Tatis and Merrill look like 2 of the stronger plays on the slate. You mentioned the poor bullpen. Lively isn't good relative to the slate. I mean, I think Tatis, Merrill, 2 of the best plays. You can wrap it around. Ownership looks to be in check. Sign me up for sure for the Padres. 2 games left, Gyiraszin. We have a very low-owned game. 2 very solid pitchers, Luis Casilla, Tariq Skubal. This game is not getting much ownership. With all that being said, Carpenter, Riley Green, 2 lefties. If you do want to pick on Castillo, you want the lefties. Grading out pretty well in our hitter rankings. Definitely will be low-owned. Mariners definitely surprised me a little bit. Multiple guys, like Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Garver. Garver would definitely be my favorite, assuming he's in the lineup. I'm always a sucker for a very cheap Mitch Garver, just a good hitter who's always free. The big spot on the slate, though, the Mets. The Mets will be chalk. This ownership could be a little higher, but when you see everyone above like 6%, even the 9-hitter, this team will get ownership. Juan Soto, you can see the number 1 hitter in our rankings. 2 bad pitchers in terms of our pitcher ranking. Clay Holmes got some steam opening day. Definitely did not perform. I don't know how much Marlins I do want on the other side. He's not getting ownership, so it's not like we're getting any leverage that way. I'd rather play the Mariners and get leverage off the Screwball, which I'm not going to do, than I would the Marlins. The Mets, though, being the chalkiest team on the slate, if that's the case, like just scrolling up a little bit, I like the Padres more for lower ownership. I like the A's more for lower ownership. I think I like the Cubs more at lower ownership. I like the Nats a little bit. I said the Cardinals. I was indifferent with the Twins. With all that being said, on a 10-game slate with so many options, I'm just not sure I need to be overweight on the chalkiest stack, especially when I know I am eating more chalk at pitcher, the Skeens, the Screwballs of the world. So, yeah, I'll throw it to you in this one. Mets, obviously highest run total on the slate, going to get ownership. If you play them, what's the best way to play them than any other interest in the Tigers, Mariners, or Marlins bats?
Yeah, that Tiger Mariner game, Screwball has given up the long ball. I mean, Kyle Riley sitting there with that high fly ball percentage is interesting. I mean, you get a catcher that you get reasonably, was he 4K, something like that. But either way, I mean, he's sitting at a 41% fly ball rate. So I don't mind him at all. I mean, he's double dong potential. So I think you could potentially use him. I mean, he'd be a pretty good leverage guy against Screwball if that's something that you really wanted to do, if you were going to fade him. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but the numbers are there, backs it up. But yeah, this Mets team definitely going to be chalky. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I had Skeens and Screwball, was able to jam in Soto and Lindor in my lineup there. So
that just shows how underpriced these pitchers are. And like, it's so easy to do so.
Right. I mean, and then you're sitting there. I mean, you can even play a guy like Jose Siri. I like all 9 guys. I mean, Siri at that 9 hole's got a 29 point something off top of my head fly ball rate. So I don't mind him even sitting there at the bottom of that lineup there. I mean, Beatty got the bottom of that lineup. I like Brandon Nimmo today. I mean, I like Lindor today, Soto today. Soto's the top bat on the slate. But, yeah, I mean, these Mets are going to be probably a little bit chalky here. I mean, they're also – I mean, we all like a little bit later games in our slates too. So, I mean, we're sitting there at the latest game of the day. So, I mean, you're going to have to wait this one out here today, that's for sure, because there's going to be a lot of Mets in play. But definitely like the Mets. I don't mind the bottom half wrapping around up there to the top. So definitely think you can get a little bit different that way. But, yeah, I don't mind any of these guys here. I mean, the lowest fly ball rates on the team, Vientos 23, Winker 24, Beatty 23. Everybody else is sitting at 27 or higher. So definitely think the Mets are in play here against Miami. I just don't like the Miami bullpen. I think Miami's going to be probably the worst team in baseball as we go on through the year here today. Another game sitting at 8.5. Everything points toward the Mets. So definitely likes the Mets today. But, hey, we'll see how it shakes out, what everybody's going to pair it up with, what kind of pitching they're going to get. Are people going to want to click some uncomfortable names down there at the bottom if you Met stack and you go with some high-end pitching? So, yeah, definitely an interesting slate here. Mets are the top stack for me today. But, yeah, I think the slate's pretty cool. I think the Mets, it's like I can't recall the Mets, us saying the Mets have been chalk in a while. I mean, it's, is it because they added Soto or what are we talking about here, Title? Do we ever say the Mets were chalk last year? I can't recall. So
no,
definitely
really
interesting. So, hey, if you want to fade it, I can't blame you.
So again, that's all 10 games. I'll wrap it up with a quick question to you in a sec. But my thoughts, I have 2 things. First, and it's just general MLB. Someone put in the Discord yesterday, like, he's been off to a really rough start. He's been stacking, but, like, is that the right way? Like, what is the best approach in MLB DFS? And my response was, we were only 5 days in or whatever it was, 4 days. So the sample size is already really low. But in MLB, more than any other sport, you have to expect to lose the most. When I say that, lose the most days or not cash the most lineups. And the reason for that is majority of your lineup is based off of one team. If that one team fails, you're not going to cash more times than not because you do stack. The best way to ship a GPP is 5 2s, 5 2 1s, 5 3s, 4 4s, putting all your eggs into one or two teams basket, because usually if one team has a crooked number like the Cubs recently or whatever it is, the Yankees, you need that team, otherwise you have no chance. Now, when you do that and they have a floor outcome and they score 1 run, you have 5 guys on a team that scored 1 run. When there's other teams on the slate, obviously you probably will not cash. Now, tournaments are so top heavy nowadays. When you win, how much do you win? You need first. Even second, third, I mean, you always take it. Sometimes it's 50K down to 15, down to 5, and it's the biggest kick in the nuts after that. But you're playing for that first outcome. You win that, you can lose 3 months in a row with your bankroll management and still be fine. So I do want people to be conscious of that. Like NBA, you're picking players from all different games. It's easier to have a projection. Mike Trout can go 0 for 4 any day. No one's surprised. I just want people to know what they're getting into MLB. It's a high variance sport. A lot of that has to do, you can lose for weeks straight. Again, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. If that team stinks, your team's going to stink. So that's one thing I want to say. And the second, baseball is also another unique sport where you would never drop down to Giannis and play shade and sharp. Sorry for my people watching that have no clue about NBA. You're dropped down from Justin Jefferson to Romeo Dobbs. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. In baseball, if you are stacking, I'm just going to make it real easy, but if you are stacking the Marlins and you're 5-man stacking, I would have Xavier Edwards, if you're debating Xavier Edwards or Lindor as the last spot, and you had 4 Marlins and no Mets, I would play Xavier Edwards, even though he projects worse, he's 1,000 cheaper, all that, and make it a 5-man stack Marlins instead of a 4-man stack with a 1-off Lindor, just because I have the money to upgrade at the position. You do rather have the correlation, the stacking, because if the team goes off, he's more likely to be involved in it, than you would upgrade to a better hitter, but that does not make your lineup any better. So those are the 2 things I wanted to say. MLB is a whole different beast than most. NHL is the only comparable one that I can think of. I know many don't play it. It's stacking lines. If you like baseball, you would like NHL for sure, but
and I think title here, just to mention, just to go on what you were saying. I mean, look at the other day when the Cubbies hit, where they had 18 runs. You needed to have Carson Kelly. I mean,
exactly.
Carson Kelly hit for the cycle that day. Nobody's clicking Carson Kelly unless they had a Cub stack. I mean, there's just nobody in their right mind would have clicked that. I mean, there's just no way. So that's why you kind of, with the correlation, and, you know, you had to have him on the slate. The dude nuked it. So, you know, I mean, that's the thing. And with baseball too, you know, like today, for example, if you're going to want to play some Mets and the Mets do go off, do know, since they are chalky, you're going to have every piece of that right. Like, of the lineups, yep. You play 5. There's still 4 other dudes. If one of those other 4 dudes goes off, you're probably not going to win either, because you're playing a chalkier type stack. Now, if you were to play, let's just go to the A's, you know, we were saying they could be, 5% or so. You not necessarily have to nail all of that stack, because there isn't that many group of people on it. So, like, when I'm playing baseball, I mean, you may lose for a week and a half straight, but man, when you get that one team right, that's maybe a little bit below the radar, just know you're going to be up there. You're going to cash. You're going to get all your money back and then some. You know, it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, I love it. Baseball's a lot of fun. Baseball is like a slot machine to me. You have a good inning and your guy hits a 3-run homer and 2 of your guys on base, and you just watch your needle go, cheep, and you're like, Hell yeah. And then you're like looking, and then you get another homer. You literally went from 570th place out of 600. All of a sudden you're in 200th place, and then you're in 50th place, and your stack's going off. You're like, dude, I mean, that's what's fun for me with baseball. I mean, I have a lot of fun with it. You know, I learned over the years, man, I used to jam in like football and be playing, my whole damn bankroll on one slate. And it's just, you can't do that, man. No. You got to kind of just live to fight another day. Is my thing too, like in poker, a chip in a chair. you can still nail the big hand in DFS with minimal. I mean, you'll see guys with screenshots here at SHIPIT where we'll see, guy had in $80 and the dude won 20K. I mean, it can happen. It's very easy. I love baseball. It's my favorite. You can get real hot in baseball. It's fun. It's just like real baseball. I mean, like you're playing, you get really hot and you get cold. When you get cold, you got to reevaluate what you're doing. Go back and look at some of the teams that are winning. Don't be afraid to, take some other people's advice. I mean, maybe Title's real hot, Ham's hot, Nade's is hot, I'm hot. Just kind of follow what's going on and see what's going on. But I love it, man. I love baseball. It's my favorite. But yeah, you can't be upset with the losing. And there's nothing worse than the dude in Discord when your team's, third inning and you're, that's your stack and they don't have any runs. And then you're crying about it. And then all of a sudden they put up a 7 spot in the next couple innings. And then it's just like, donkey time. But yeah.
Baseball, it's a very, very high variance sport. I mean, you can be in first up 16 points in the 9th inning. Some random bomb might drop you, unfortunately, to second. Like, you got to sweat it all the way to the end. But also on the flip side, you're never dead until you have 0 PMR left in baseball. It can go up and down in a hurry. Discord is entertaining, I agree. Speaking of Discord, what I was going to say, seeing the ball being hot, no one's hotter than our band, Big Nades. And Gyiraszin's on the slate plan right now. Awesome stuff. Check it out. MLB slate plan. Our cash plays will be on there as well. But Nades did put in his favorite pitchers and stacks in the Discord like he usually does. So, excuse me. Wow. So if you're not a member, head over to ShipItNation.com. Definitely do get in the Discord. No better time. MLB 50 gets you $50 off your first month with which also includes the SaberSim Core 150 lineups you're able to see. You're able to build 250 lineups with Late Swap. That's going to do it for us. Again, lineups will be pouring in. These projected will then turn to confirmed. That's all I got here. 10 games, Gyiraszin. Last thing. We had a delay. I knew there was something I was missing. The White Sox did announce delayed start, which was expected. And I saw Roth quote tweeted it saying, "This is the expected late start announcement. I won't fully remove postpone risk, but I still think a late start in play is the likely outcome." So
one thing, Title, since it's the beginning of the year, we talk about these, postponements. I always rule of thumb think like if it's a division game, the chances of it being postponed are greater
because they can make it up.
They're going to play each other a bunch more times. But when you got like an East Coast, West Coast type situation, generally they'll stick it out a little bit more. And actually, the Nationals weren't as bad as they were in past years, but the Nats were always the worst ones for cancel. They'd have a stadium full of fools and they'd cancel it. So they were a little concerning. But the one thing, though, man, you go to that MLB app. We all like be on our phones. Like right before a game, like 10, 15 minutes before a game, it'll say warm up. So that means they're on the field warming up. If it doesn't say that and it's 5 minutes before a game start, Title, that means they're in the locker room, and that's concerning. So you can kind of tell and get a little ahead of it. If you want, instead of you fishing all over online, just go to the MLB app. It says warm up. They're on the field warming up. So little tidbit that I like to use. At least it kind of makes me feel a little bit more comfortable when I'm concerned. And then I see that, 10 minutes or so before it says they're warming up. It does help a little bit. So just a little bit of tidbits there for all y'all. So, I mean,
there you go. I'm something I've never done. I'm always following Roth. I'm in the Discord. Underdog's tweeting it out. But if you want another resource right there, you can do that. All right, that's going to do it for us here, Anthony. It can be brutal, man. Top 10 to 1,000. Hey, next time, mate, you might be 1,000 going all the way to the top 10. And yes, the Discord alone is entertaining and worth the sub. That's going to do it for us, though. Good luck, everybody, on this 10-game main slate that starts pretty soon. All the content up on the site. Awesome show as always, Gyiraszin. Let's make some money today. What do we say? For Gyiraszin, I'm Titletown. Good luck. Be safe. Peace.